Hello students, welcome to Friday. You got two tasks for the day today. The first is to finish your stop motion video with your group if it's not done already. You can even go in and add sound if you've already turned it in. You can add sound and then return it in and get even more points. Once that's done, you're gonna start with the exquisite corpse. And your first step for that is to select 3 pieces of paper. This is what that looks like. The paper is located by the clock. All right, so you're gonna come up here, one person at a time, and you're gonna pull 3 out, okay? And then take them to your desk. And you're gonna open them up. Let's see which ones I got here. I got fox and bee and cow. What you need to do in Canvas is go to the assignment that says exquisite corpse, and in the comments section, you'll write down the 3 that you have chosen. So that's the first step. Once you're done and you've selected them, please close them back up and return them promptly back to the main container. So you'll choose these, write them down in Canvas, and then bring them back. Put them back in here. Now you're ready to go digital. In Procreate, you want to start by creating screen size, and you're going to rename it. You're going to rename it Exquisite Corpse. To get in the habit of naming your project before you start working on it, so that when you save it, you don't have to retitle it. 3 options that I pulled in a layer in Procreate, just so I can remember what the 3 were. In the right-hand side is going to be a very important place to come back to. Now it's time to find your image. Type in the word vector at the end of whatever animal you're looking for, and a specific portion of the animal, like I was looking for a tail. You want to save the image to the device itself. Now, when you're looking for your art you're going to be using, it doesn't matter what the style is. You can mix and match different styles, or you can have them all kind of look the same. If it's a photograph, it's going to be more challenging to alter than a vector. So do choose a vector. Vector just means it's filled solidly with color and it's already been digitized. Have all of your images saved, you're then going to go to a website called remove.bg. And you'll upload each of those pictures into that website. That website takes away all of the white in the background so that when you upload it into into Procreate, like I am right now, there's no background at all. So remove.bg is a very important place to go with your imagery before you bring it into Procreate. I'm using the Move tool, which is the arrow button on the top, and it is on uniform. So at the bottom of the screen, you'll see what's highlighted in blue says uniform. Any of those 4 options, whether it's uniform, distort, warp, or freeform, will affect how it changes. You can also flip it horizontal, flip it vertical, rotate it, all sorts of things you can do to move the image around to get it how you want it to look just right, so all 3 pieces fit together. Notice that each of the pieces are like in their own layer. This happens automatically when you import a photo. So right here, I am using the warp function with just a portion of the tail. And I was able to select that one portion by using the S function at the top and then making sure it said freeform, and I could use a lasso and draw it around. That's a tool you'll see me use later in case you missed it this first time around. As I mentioned earlier, layer groups are very important. You need to know what layer you're erasing, what layer you're moving, what layer you're drawing on. And the layer will be blue when it's the one that's been selected. Right now, I am choosing gel pen, which is the easiest pen to draw with. And I made sure that it was in dynamics at 0 so that it's not going to change its shape or size or texture when I push with my Apple Pencil. You also see me selecting a particular color, and I do that by grabbing the box on the far left side in between those two slider bars. And when you touch that, a circle will appear on your screen, and you can move that circle around, and that's your color picker. You can then draw with that exact color. You'll see me do that quite frequently in this example today. Another tool that you see me use is the smudge tool, which looks like a finger smudging. The smudge tool is great to blend different things together, blend your pigment together. At this moment, I am adjusting the color of that particular layer of the fox. So I'm on the magic wand tool at the top. You can see that it's blue. And then I'm adjusting shadows, midtones, and highlights so I can get it to be just the exact color that I want. I'm now using my color picker and my gel pen to draw on the fox layer to finish out the body. I decided to make a shadow, and if you want to do that, this shows you how to do it. I use a new layer for the shadow just by itself, fill it with a solid color, add a Gaussian blur so it gets fuzzy on the edges. So you can do that if you want, but you don't have to. I'm also finalizing parts of the imagery. In this section, I'm using a color drop. So I selected the color that I want, and then with my Apple Pen, I'm recoloring by touching the circle on the right and dragging it into the section that I want filled. You see me make a mistake the first few times because I have the wrong layer selected. You got to make sure to have the correct layer selected. And I'm just filling that shape with that color. A new way to do it is create a layer that goes underneath. And here you see me just use a paintbrush to fill in that space. On this side, I create the outside and then I drag and drop the inside to fill. And that is in a different layer, so it shows back behind the black line of the wings. I now have my image complete. It looks exactly as I want, so I select all of the layers and put it in a new group. Now this new group, I can duplicate. And this is how we're gonna start animating. So once it's all finished, group it. Now we're gonna animate by turning on Animation Assist. I've got the Move tool selected, and so that entire new group, I'm gonna move to the right just a little bit. It's moving very fast, so I'm going to put it on ping pong and slow it down. Now I decide I don't want the entire thing moving. I just want a portion of it. So I'm going to select just the fox, and it's not even the whole fox, it's just the head of the fox that I want to move. So I use my lasso tool, grab just the head, and move just the head. As I'm watching this, I can see I need to make some alterations because the white shows through in that spot on the neck. So I'm going to use my color picker to grab the color, use my paintbrush tool, and fill it in. Again, I'm using my color picker for the green to fix the edge, and I fill that in. Now you'll just continue replicating the group and then altering one portion within that group. So there, I altered the tail. I go in and I fix some of the mistakes. All right, double check it. All right, duplicate. Open up that group and figure out, all right, this time I'm gonna move the wings. And right now I'm taking all the wing layers and merging them into one so that I just have to select one layer and move that. And again, I'm using the magic wand, like selection tool, to select just one portion of that layer. So I do the left wing and then the right wing. Right, duplicating again. And this time I'm gonna move that head a little bit more, and I'm setting it up so that I don't have to do anything on the inside, but I do decide to draw on the eyes. This layer, I'm working on the tail, moving the wings again. So in this group, I altered the head, the tail, the wings, and I drew in the eyes, all in this one layer. To fix any mistakes that might be there, I'm using my color matching tool and touching up some details, like in the wings. Again, color matching. And I'm going to duplicate. I'm now going to use a new brush called a light pen, and I'm going to draw on the eyes because I want to make them glow. Procreate won't let you draw unless you have the specific layer selected, and that's the error that you just saw. So I'm selecting the layer. They gotta go to my fox itself, and then I draw in the eye. I want to be able to see what I'm doing, so I unchecked each of the layers just to make sure that what I'm drawing I can actually see. So that check mark, it means it's visible. And I'm using my light pen to draw on the fox layer. I didn't like that shape, so I did a 2-finger tap to undo and then redid my shape. Duplicate it again. Something that you'll notice is at the bottom of the screen, the frames that show only show up when they're check marked. I've got everything done, but I have too much space on the bottom, so I'm gonna crop the canvas so that I only have the animation of my character creature. You're then going to share it as an animated MP4, and you're gonna save it to the device, so click Save Video. I also want you, starting today, to save every single file as a Procreate file in your drive. Procreate file into your drive. And if you do not have a folder titled Animation, create one titled Animation and save all of your projects there as a Procreate file in your drive. You're now done. And here is my final. This is also another creature that I did. And here's a quick time lapse of what I did in Procreate in order to create this little funky goat, barn owl, flamingo creature. I changed the background color so that I can see what I'm painting with white. Final animation. Enjoy.